Aloha everybody, my name is Leanne Wong. I am the chef owner of Koko Cafe as well as the executive chef for Hawaiian Airlines. And I'm so excited to have Burt from Step Outside here with me today.
Well, thank you very much for that, Leanne. I love the intro. I'm taking a holiday. Leanne's going to do some cooking for you. See you later. No, just kidding. I tell you what, the traditional Hawaiian plate lunch is it's an iconic meal that a lot of people just do every weekend. We're going to do this today.
Plate lunch in Hawaii is usually like rice, mac salad, meat, eggs. It's like rice and protein, starch and protein essentially.
Cool.
One thing we run every single weekend is steak and eggs.
I love steak and eggs.
Yeah.
A lot of Kiwis love steak and eggs.
The cut that we like to use is a skirt steak. This is also known as flap. I'm just gonna trim some of that silver skin off. And as you can see, the grain, it kind of twists and turns. It's not just a very straightforward piece of meat. And you know, I'll cut this off into a 6-ounce steak. So maybe this is a light piece. So that's a portion. We'll go over here, that'll be a portion.
Portions, aren't they?
Yeah,
and you can
really
actually
tasty.
smell it too. It is very gamey, which is a good sign.
It's a great sign. Okay, so we're gonna start with this. I've got my pan heating up here. And I'm very simple. You know, we do a special marinade on our steak every weekend. So I remember once a customer came in, she's like, yeah, you did a plain steak for me. I was like, we never do plain steak. That's absolutely impossible. You're thinking of the wrong restaurant.
So you just seasoned that steak, both sides.
Pepper.
Salt and pepper, pretty simple. With what sort of oil?
The most, just vegetable oil. The most important thing whenever you're cooking meat and you're gonna sear meat is you wanna make sure you go into a super hot surface. You wanna form that crust so you keep all the juices in. If you go into a cold pan, meat's gonna stick to the pan. You're gonna kind of get this gray exterior, and we want that nice hard sear. And so, you know, we treat the steaks pretty simply. Careful. Okay, just want to go ahead and sear that off a little bit more. We're going to give that a little bit more color. It's a little New York trick I like.
Okay, butter.
I like to add butter, and I'll butter baste it so the butter just melts in that pan.
Yeah, that's nice.
You can see that.
Wow.
The butter kind of browns out. You get that nuttiness.
Yeah.
And so we're coating the steak at the same time as the butter's melting. The water in the butter is coming up and releasing a little bit of steam, so it's actually helping to accelerate the cooking of the beef.
Oh, look at that. That's magnificent.
At this point, I can turn the heat off and let the steak rest in the butter. And so it's going to continue to cook, get nice and juicy.
Okay. Also back home, you can go down to your local Anaconda store and pick up a Spinifex single or dual gas burner. It's going to do exactly the same as this, and you can do this up around your campsite because all we're really adding now is some really good, damn fine, fresh eggs.
Exactly. One of the reasons I like to break my eggs into the bowl first is just to check their freshness.
Sure.
So every now and then you will totally get a bad egg, and so it's always important that you are putting the egg into a bowl first before you add it to your batter, before you add it to the pan, so that way you're not wasting 2 eggs.
Okay.
All right, so my pan's nice and hot. I can see that because it's smoking.
Yep.
Got my fat in, and I'm just gonna slide my eggs in. I like to break up the whites to help it cook quickly.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn the heat down so the bottom doesn't burn and these cook nice and evenly.
Yep, beautiful.
Okay, just needs a little bit more time. In the meantime, our steak's ready to go.
Okay.
It's been resting. So check this out. Now, whenever you're cutting steak, one of the most important things is cutting across the grain. You wanna go against the grain.
Why is that so?
Consider eating a piece of rope, right?
Yep.
So if you're eating rope that's twisted like this with the grain, it's gonna be very hard to chew. But if you cut that rope across and you got short cross sections, the fibers are nice and short, very tender. Okay. Oh my goodness. It's a little rare, but it's so beautiful.
Good. That's how I love my tuna. Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay. It's really tender. You can have this black and blue.
Absolutely stunning. And of course, it's up to you at home how you like your steak. If you love it rare, medium, or well done, or leather like a
Well, you know what's good is like you can put a little hot butter on that.
Oh.
Cook it up a little bit more.
I mean, you could. But why? To me, that's perfect. Anyway.
Yeah. Got our eggs. Slide them right onto the pan.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
You know, and then
it's an easy meal.
Just go ahead.
Does it get any better than that? I mean, that's an easy meal to have
steak and eggs
straight up Sunday morning.
I like to finish with a little touch of salt. And you know what? You can add some butter. You can add just a little sauce, some pickles on top, some fried onions, but this is as simple as it gets.
Come on in, check it out. Koko Cafe here on beautiful island of Oahu, here in the lovely islands, of course, of Hawaii. Thank you for that. Chef
Mahalo
Leanne.
for being here, Paul. Thank you. Cheers. Hi, aloha, everybody, and welcome to Koko Head Cafe. My name is Leanne Wong. I'm the executive chef and owner, as well as the executive chef for Hawaiian Airlines. And I'm so pleased to have a special guest here today, Burt from Step Outside.
Thank you. I was just getting carried away with the intro there. It's fantastic. Thank you for that, Leanne. Leanne, you design a lot of the meals there, of course, for outbound, leaving Hawaii back to, obviously, Australia.
Pretty fast, easy salad. So I'm cooking my salmon off right now. I got a beautiful salmon fillet.
Lovely.
And I've just got some beautiful kale and cabbage.
Okay.
And what's amazing is that people are starting to realize, like, heartier greens, kale, cabbage, tatsoi, you know, you don't have to stick with the spring mix.
No.
And this is really healthy for you. So I'm just gonna go ahead and massage my greens a little bit.
What was that oil?
Just a touch of olive oil and a touch of sesame oil. I've got a little bit of lemon juice here just to brighten it up.
Yep.
I'm gonna add some salt and I'm gonna add actually a touch of honey to it, okay?
Ooh, bit of sweet.
Yeah, a bit of sweetness just for balance.
And then the sour with the lemon juice?
Yeah, and then so I just mix this all up. And what's gonna happen is this is gonna tenderize our kale and cabbage. It's gonna soften it up, almost like a little bit of coleslaw. So that way it doesn't seem like you're eating like horse food.
Yeah, okay.
And you can smell that sesame oil and that juice and the honey.
I love sesame oil. It's a beautiful, beautiful oil.
All right, so let me just check on our salmon. I'm gonna go ahead.
It's a decent sized piece of salmon, this as well.
Yeah, we're just cooking the flesh. I actually don't need the skin because we're gonna shred it and mix it with teriyaki.
Sure, okay.
So our vinaigrette is super quick. I've got a piece of pineapple.
I love your pineapple here in Hawaii. It's
so good.
It is so sweet. It is so different to it. It's not bitter.
So I've got some garlic, a piece of ginger, got a little bit of lime juice. We've got some shoyu. I'm gonna add some of that sesame oil, lots of olive oil here. And again, that pineapple's got all that acid in there. And I'm gonna add some fresh cilantro.
See, it's funny, the cilantro, which is what we call back home coriander, it's generally grown in a colder climate, particularly for Sydney, south in towards Victoria, because it is much cooler. It doesn't really work well in the actual, the more tropical regions. But over here in Hawaii, around Waimea on the Big Island, they actually have a beautiful subtropical climate there, where it's actually around 10 degrees cooler than the coastline, which is only about a kilometre down the mountain.
So I added some honey, some salt. I'm just gonna buzz this real quick. Get that pineapple in there. Okay, so our pineapple's ready to go. Let's see how our salmon's doing here. All right, we're almost cooked. Got one more side to cook. My salmon fillet is cooking. I got a little bit, this is our house teriyaki sauce that we use here at the restaurant.
Okay.
Glaze that salmon with the teriyaki sauce. Continues to cook. I can smell like the sugar, the shoyu. What's great about this salad is you can use salmon left over from the dinner before.
Beautiful.
So you can smell that.
And of course at home as well, if you want to maybe cook outdoors or outside, jumping down to your local Anaconda store and of course grab yourself a 1 or 2 burner Spinifex, okay, and that'll do exactly the same job what we're doing here, so simple as.
Such a beautiful, simple salad. Again, we've got that lightly marinated
Kale and we've got
kale and cabbage.
Cabbage, yeah.
I like to decorate it with some fresh vegetables, so we have some really colorful carrot spears here.
I saw you had them soaking in the water for a while.
Yeah, just to crisp them up, you know, give them a little bit of life. You know, lots of times you'll leave your vegetables in your fridge kind of unwrapped, and then when you pick them up like a carrot or a radish, a little limp.
Yeah, they are.
It's just dehydrated. There's a natural dehydration process in the, because you got a fan going in your fridge, right?
So you want to firm it up
All
again.
you need to do is like soak it in ice water.
Fair
Leave
enough.
it in ice water for 24 hours.
Okay.
It'll get nice and firm again.
Get it back.
I have my pineapple vinaigrette. I want you to give this a little taste.
Ooh.
So it's
Well,
got
that's
fresh
nice, isn't it?
cilantro and
Wow. Oh, a
bright
bit of a kick
flavors.
too.
Yep, there's a chili in there as well.
Okay.
So.
Yep, bit of kick.
And then I'm just gonna spoon some of this cooked warm salmon on top of this fresh, cold, crunchy salad.
So there we have, that's pretty much it there.
Yep.
And that is an absolute beautiful meal. We're talking about, of course, a teriyaki salmon salad. It doesn't get any better than that. Sensational stuff. And as we say, shut the gate now, welder closed. Aloha everybody, welcome to Koko Head Cafe. Leanne Wong, how you doing?
Aloha, welcome Paul.
Thank you so much. This lady has so many feathers in her cap when it comes to US television. I mean, you've been seen everywhere, you've got your own shows, and I feel so honoured to be and blessed to be in acquaintance with you right here.
Awesome.
And you're the executive chef for Hawaiian Airlines.
Yes, yeah.
And this is what we're looking at here, because when you think of Hawaii, you think of, you know, bikinis and pina coladas and palm trees and all that sort of stuff there. But the local grown farmed food is important, because if you can utilise that in a restaurant, but also not just here in Hawaii, but also around Australia, is that if you have your locally sourced produce, it's going to really emphasise your style of cooking and, of course, what you deliver back to the plate.
Yeah, absolutely.
So from farm to plate, what have we got here?
Farm to plate, I mean, we have a wide variety. It's actually Saturday, so I went to the farmer's market this morning. Yeah. What's great about Oahu is there's literally a farmer's market somewhere on the island every single day of the week.
So there's no reason why you cannot get fresh food.
Absolutely, you know, and the difference is, you know, we live in Hawaii. It's the single most remote place on the planet. We're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, so sustainability really takes on a different meaning. Yeah. And Hawaii is a state that for decades has been importing over 90% of its food supply. Right. And so what you're seeing now, there's just been this incredible boom of wonderful new restaurants, and especially in the past 5 years, you see a lot of, especially the younger generation of chefs, turning to local produce, supporting the local farms, and really featuring the best that the Aina has to offer, both from land and sea, and really working with seasonal ingredients. We have a unique year-round microclimate here in Hawaii where we can grow pineapples, apples, you know, radishes, taro, squash year-round. And we have a lot of seasonal items as well. So you see things like rambutan and dragon fruit and mountain apple. It's mango season right now, and that comes around twice a year. And the mangoes here are better than anywhere else on the planet.
Sorry for all the people who live in Bowen, by the way, far north Queensland. The Bowen mango is pretty cool. It's a synonymous fruit to Australia, particularly for that region. But I have had the mangoes here, and I'll tell you what, they're pretty damn good.
We have over 24 varieties of mango here in Hawaii, and some hybrids that we can't even identify. Yeah. But you know, here at Koko Head, we love using indigenous ingredients, things like kalo root or taro root, products like ulu, breadfruit, and it's great because our guests come here and they don't know what to expect. They come, they want eggs, they want bacon, and they get so much more. And they can come in and literally try something that they've never tried before.
I got to ask you a question. We just came from up at Haleiwa there for North Shore, having a look around Pipeline, Sunset, you know, doing the toury thing. And I saw a lot of these trees just on the side of the road. What is this? So
this is moringa, otherwise known as kalamangai in like Filipino cuisine. And so this is just a tree, and the leaves here are about 4 times more nutritious than spinach. Wow. 100 grams, I mean, it's called moringa oleifera, and it's a superfood. Wow. So you can actually go to your health food store, your supermarket now, you go to like the dried powders and all the natural ingredients, and you're gonna find something called dried moringa. And it's great, it lowers your blood sugar, it's super healthy, full of nutrients, and you can mix it into your shakes, your tea, whatever. We throw it in soup, salads, we make pestos out of it.
Unreal.
And it literally grows wild here in Hawaii.
Thank you so much. You know, that's what it's all about when you're coming here to Koko Head Cafe. Even back at home, source all of your produce nice and local. Keep it local, keep the business in your area or in Australia or here in Hawaii, because if you can do that, it's going to make you proud, but at the same time, your food is just going to taste that little bit more fresher. Thanks, Leanne.
Aloha. Thank you so much for being here.
Aloha, everybody. Welcome to Koko Head Cafe. I have been invited here as a guest of Hawaiian Airlines Executive Chef Leanne Wong. Today, we're cooking up traditional Hawaiian poke.
Yes.
Tell me about poké. Where did it originate from? And because it's really showing up everywhere, particularly around the east coast of Australia. We're seeing lots of small poké shops coming through. You know.
So poké is as ubiquitous in Hawaii as, say, Spam is.
Spam's everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah. But originally, poké was, I mean, it was obviously a fisherman's dish. And back in the ancient days, the Hawaiians treated the ocean like their icebox. So they only pulled from it whatever they needed. And they'll pull fish, and quite simply, to see how fresh it was, they would just cut it right on the boat, and then just season it with a little Hawaiian sea salt and maybe some seaweed, some limu ogo. Right. Word poke means to cut, but you know, it's really about the fish. It's really about taking advantage of how fresh the fish is. And here in Hawaii, we are so lucky because you know, I'm from New York, where we get a lot of fresh fish on the East Coast, but not like this.
No, it's right on your doorstep.
It really is.
The best fishing in the world I've ever had is right here, I tell you.
We have a beautiful piece of big eye tuna here today. Poké quality, you want to look for color, you want to look for clarity, you want to look for firmness. This is going to be the most simple variety of classic shoyu ahi Poké. So I'm just going to cut the belly out here. And you have this beautiful block. I just cut off a couple steaks.
Right.
And really, you just want to dice that Poké. I think like a 3/4 to 1/2 inch cube is a nice size.
Nice chunky.
Little, yeah, chunky. You want a little bit, it's toothsome. And you know, here in Hawaii, part of what makes our Poké authentic is that the fish is pre-marinated, okay?
That's fresh, isn't it?
So oh yeah,
Wow.
totally. Pulled from the ocean this morning. By pre-marinating the Poké, what happens is that marinade, usually it's shoyu, some sea salt.
And shoyu, for everyone back home, I worked out
Soy
this the
sauce.
hard way, yeah. I imported shoyu from Hawaii, a box of it, right? And it cost me a fortune. My wife and I, we got it home, we opened it up, we thought, yeah, we're gonna get into it, and we opened it up, and it was soy sauce. It's the most expensive soy sauce we have ever bought, and we still have 1,000 packets.
I got yelled at when I first moved here because I kept calling it soy sauce, and everyone's like, it's shoyu. So let me make our shoyu sauce very simply. I'm gonna start with a little bit of shoyu.
Okay.
I've got a touch of sugar.
Right.
And then sesame oil gives it that
That
rich.
just, doesn't that
it
works,
just coats the tongue.
It's beautiful.
Okay. And that's it. The most simple form. A little sugar shoyu. You don't have to add sugar if you don't want to. I find that it adds balance.
Okay.
So you see that it just comes together as a really quick vinaigrette. And then we can add our ingredients. So I have my cut tuna, my ahi, and then I have some fresh sliced sweet onion.
So that's a white onion?
This is actually a sweet Maui onion.
Right, okay.
You can use, if you're gonna use like a red onion or a white onion or a yellow onion, I suggest rinsing it first.
Okay.
Rinsing it and drying them before you add it to the Poké.
And what's that going to do?
It's gonna take away a little bit of that sulfuric acid that's gonna, that burning sensation when you eat a raw onion. So I always find like, if you rinse your onions for like a salad or whatever, it's a lot crisper and a lot easier to eat.
Sweet.
Okay. Even though there's shoyu in there, I'm gonna add a little bit of sea salt, Hawaiian red ole sea salt. I have this beautiful puspie, sea asparagus. You guys know what this is, right?
No.
Oh, so this is sea asparagus, otherwise it as puspie.
Salty.
It's salty, it's briny. I'm gonna take a little bit of this ogo.
Okay.
And I'm gonna chop up the ogo.
Now I've seen that around the rocks under the water.
Yes. So you always want to make sure whenever you get your ogo, you can harvest it yourself, you just got to rinse it real well, soak it overnight. And then I have some kukui nut, and this is candle nut.
That's a nut?
Yes.
I thought it was a nut.
So this is a tree nut. Traditionally the Hawaiians would roast the nuts whole in the fire and they'd crack in the coals of the imu or the fire, the charcoal, and roasted, it's called inamona. Inamona, and it adds that nuttiness. Too much of it, it's got a lot of the oils that kind of get everything moving, so you can't eat too much of this.
Okay.
But candle nut is used for beauty and health applications as well as for eating. And so we're gonna add a little bit of sesame seed, then just a little bit of green onion.
And all of this is sourced locally?
Yeah, all of this is sourced locally, and you know, as you can see, this is a dish that you can make inside of 5 minutes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's beautiful.
It's beautiful, it's fresh, it's healthy,
nice.
Really simple. And so, you know, here we like to serve it over a nice bowl of rice. This is a giant portion of Poké.
That is.
Here you go.
Stunning.
Isn't
Absolutely.
that beautiful?
10 out of 10.
This is for you.
Thank you, my dear. I'll have it. That one there looks good, and I'll have a little bit of ogo with it. Here we go.
How's it taste? Fresh? Mm-hmm. Get all that umami.
Shoyu, absolutely. The shoyu, the oil, of course, the sesame oil, and that sugar straight away coated it.
Yeah.
You know, straightening up, just cleans the palate as well. And of course, that beautiful bounce of flavour with it, with the ogu, the onion, it really makes a big difference. So I'll tell you what, give it a crack, get it home and just try it, do it yourself. And if you're coming to Hawaii here, particularly on Oahu, come down to Koko Head Cafe, give a big high five, Aussie high five to, of course, the Hawaiian Airlines Executive Chef, Leanne Wong. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for being here, Paul.
You're
Cheers.
welcome. Aloha. And of course, thanks for watching Step Outside YouTube channel for lots of cooking and fishing action. Like, subscribe, and of course, comment for more catches like this and cooking recipes.